All right, everybody, this is Stephen Cooley with Mortgage Advisor Tools. I'm here with Courtney, the VP of Growth at MMI slash Bonzo slash and more companies. How you doing?
I am well. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and you guys are making some moves. It's been very cool to watch. Why don't you share in case anybody doesn't know the recent things that are going on?
Yeah, so much excitement that's been happening. For those of you that have known MMI, we've been around. We started off as, Mobility RE back in 2008, and then added the MMI piece. So we added the data to everything, and about roughly a year and a half ago, I think it was, we acquired Bonzo, and so now we have our own CRM. So Bonzo came and joined forces with us, and then just recently, and brand new to us, is MonitorBase has joined the team, and so now we are the ultimate lead to loan growth platform. We have all three, the trifecta.
Very cool. No, I think it's very unique that three prominent technologies like that have found their way into one merger. It's really interesting, and that kind of brings to light companies right now, mortgage and whatnot, are trying to figure out this technology thing, trying to understand what they should use, what they should not use, what they should get rid of. And so, and obviously we play a big part of that. It's fun to get calls about, hey, thanks for having your thing. We've built our tech stack on your site, but what do you think that companies should be looking for as they're evolving or devolving their tech stack, especially with the tumultuous mortgage, I don't know, how do you say it? The mortgage experience we're all having in
The
2000.
roller coaster?
Yeah,
The roller coaster ride we've all
yeah.
been on. Yeah, let's talk about that. So first off, your tech stack should be beneficial to you, right? To any organization. It shouldn't be a hindrance. It shouldn't be something that you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
Right? But really, you're supposed to have something that's going to empower you, right? That's going to help you grow, that's going to be your sidekick, right? That's going to do things for you when you actually don't want to do them yourself
Right.
or when you're focused on doing other things. So, if we break it down and we talk about the individual pieces of our three, right? You have the MMI side, which is going to provide you the data that is needed for you to actually know what you want to get yourself into, right? It's going to allow you to find those agent referral partners. It's going to allow you to figure out what is going on with your book of business. So with MMI, you have your seat, you have your NMLS ID attached. And so we have access to all of your past closed loan data. We have access to all of your past agents. We look at your agent wallet share. We look at your refinder opportunities, so on and so on, right? So we've taken all of this raw data that we collect. We have now sorted, segregated it, matched it up. We've kicked it back out to you in a digestible yet actionable data set, right?
Right.
So now, then layer on the next couple of pieces, right? And so whether you have your own CRM or you're using something else, we like to think that by having our own CRM, we're offering you the ability that now, maybe instead of having multiple vendors to have, your tech stack, you can kind of consolidate, right? But, then you layer that onto your CRM, and in our case, Bonzo, right? And so Bonzo then allows you the ability to communicate effectively, right? You can set up campaigns, you can set up, so automation is happening, but at the same time, as soon as you get alerted from your MMI that says, hey, you've got someone that's got a new listing, or, this person is right for, a conversation, to truly sit down and talk to them about their mortgage. What kind of money moves can you make?
Right.
Getting that opportunity alert, then now you can jump into that CRM, you can jump into Bonzo, and you have an immediate way to contact them. You can jump in, text them right away, set up that meeting. Very one-to-one communication while it's still being tracked, while it's still being monitored, etc. Then you layer in the piece with us with the monitor base piece,
Right.
right? And so now you've got monitor base that is constantly monitoring your database, automated. So it's constantly working. It's surfacing up opportunities for you. Again, all while you have the opportunity to be out there doing what you should be doing and building those relationships,
Yeah.
right?
No, yeah.
So that's three of the puzzle of a tech stack, right? Again, our goal is to say, hey, we can consolidate all of this for
Sure,
you.
sure, sure.
And
Yeah.
now you have one login, not three, right?
Right.
Now you have everything working together. And again, at the end of the day, designed to really, help you. I think some people, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have 5 minutes. I'm so busy. I don't have time, right? Well, if you take 5 minutes, then it's going to give you that much more time back.
Right. I think what's interesting also about what you guys have going on is, in those three products, it's not impossible for someone to have actually three different sets of data, right? With MMI, the referral partners and evaluating the market versus CRM could be a hodgepodge of things. And then of course, MonitorBase evaluating your past business. And so, what kind of customers, are best served for what you guys are doing. I mean, I've been around a bit. I know MMI's had different models for different types of lenders and mortgage bankers. But yeah, what's your best? What's a good customer for you guys?
Well, I would say that there's a lot of different good customers, right? But I think it's the different persona, right?
Yeah, okay.
And so I think that that is where, again, I mean, whether it's mortgage, you're banking, you're a credit union, you could be an appraisal, you could be a title company, you could be an insurance company, right? Think about who's involved in the purchase and the selling of a home. And so that's where you can kind of expand who a customer would be to use MMI, right?
All right,
And to even use Bonzo and or even the MonitorBase piece,
all right.
right? Because when you tie it all together, we all have, our customer base, right?
Yeah,
Statistically, it is easier to get repeat business from our existing customers than it is to have to go get brand new ones, right? Than it is to go build those brand new relationships, build that trust, build that, hey, I'm gonna kick this business to you, you kick this business to me kind of thing, right? And so if you're utilizing a tool that kind of encaptures that transaction as a whole, and guess what? You can pretty much see most of that inside of MMI, right? And then you just couple everything together. So the persona is, it could be any of those verticals within, the business. But then furthermore, then it's, are you an LO using this, right? So are you, again, attaching your NMLS ID? Are you using this to grow your personal business because now you have access to everything? Or maybe you made a recent change, and when you made that change, you didn't get to bring your database with you,
sure.
right? Well, that's okay. If you have an MMI seat, guess what? Your entire database comes with you, right? So everything is attached to your NMLS ID. And when I say everything is attached, I literally mean you come over, you've got 8 years worth of information just sitting right there for you, right? And if if you have a CRM that you need to plug that into, you can export that, you can plug that in. If you have Bonzo, it kind of seamlessly kind of just connects together for you, right? But
Yeah.
then again, then you layer the MonitorBase piece on. And again, all of your past business is right in your MMI. So your MonitorBase lays right on top of that. So again, an LO, great opportunity for them to grow their business. But, sales managers sitting down with your team, right? You can see everything. Sales leaders, recruiters, talent acquisition. So, I mean, so many different personas because again, you said it, we have so many different data sets.
Yeah. Well, well, you might not know this, but mortgage market intelligence is actually probably one of our hottest up and coming categories like this year, I would say. And I would suspect that has to do with the fact that, everybody is realizing that we're in a bit of a market share, fight to the death, right? And so there's been a lot of interesting companies, that are in that category. So could you help us understand the differentiator between MMI and, the other companies that are out there doing similar work?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like to kind of think that we were one of the OGs that did this
Agreed. Yes.
starters, right?
Absolutely.
So let's
Absolutely.
go there.
Love it. Yes. Yes.
Let's start there. So I think the OGs deserve a little credit, right?
Agreed.
But what I will tell you is that yes, I think that folks learned that what we were offering was very valuable, to the end user. And so yes, now you do have some other people in the space, coming in and listen, we love healthy competition. So bring it on because
Yeah.
you make us better, right? And so we love that, right? However, what I will say is most recently we did add our Chief Data Officer, Dan Jones. He's come in, for those that maybe don't know who that is. He was with Rocket for about 13 years, managing that data over there. So we have brought in, some big guns and making a lot of changes. We have expanded, our relationships there. Just got off of a call, literally minutes ago, right? And talking about the improvements to the data sets that we have, right?
Huge.
Talking about what we've gone out and we've got 50% more, improvement here. We've got, double, when it comes to, the sold transaction listings and being able to match that up, right? With those, loan officers to agents to understand really what that wallet share is looking like, right? But again, I would say what sets us apart is the fact that we're not stopping where we are. So again, we are constantly recreating, innovating. Again, we have a brand new tool kind of combining the three. We've got our Pathways Home that we are launching right now. And so that kind of comes back to, I want to even say, bringing it back around to almost the OG of the MRE side of it, right?
Okay.
Because now what we're doing is we're saying, hey, with this Pathways Home, we're giving you the ability to hand over to a homeowner, you know, basically the ability for them to go in, look at their mortgage, look at their, equity, their amortization, what if I did a cash out? What if I did this? However, plugging into that now a home search app, because if they are kind of teetering with maybe I'm going to sell, maybe I'm going to rent this out and I'm going to get something new. Maybe my kids finally graduated and I get to go where I want to go now, right? You were talking about, trying to decide where you're living based
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah. Definitely.
right? Or maybe you're having kids and now you have to expand. And so now you've got to get a bigger home, right? But now that home search app is actually built into that. But what's beautiful about all of that is the loan officer has the ability to hand that off. And so now that's all branded to the loan officer. The loan officer has their app in there. They can see everything that's happening, what their potential borrower or their existing borrower that they've already worked with is looking at. They can obviously share that with the agent, again, building that relationship with the agent. That's one of the things we were talking earlier, right before we started this, AI, right?
Yeah.
Y'all stay tuned because we've got some super exciting news with an AI, component that we're adding as well. So again, we're not stopping. Like somebody might think we're done. We're not done.
That's
So
very cool. No, MMI has definitely been around for a long time and have, definitely led the way in mortgage market intelligence. There's no doubt about that. Well, I got to say, I am extremely grateful for your time today, and I appreciate MMI and Bonzo and MonitorBase's support for mortgage advisors tools. It's a really big deal. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
of course, thank you so much for having us and hope to see you soon and join you again sometime.
Yes, yes, yes. So go out, check out Bonzo, check out MMI, check out MonitorBase on mortgage advisor tools. Thank you so much.